Boomer shooter is an umbrella term that covers early first-person shooters as well as modern Indian AA games that run the gamut. From faithful recreations to wild experiments that mainly use the old-school aesthetic to keep the budget down, they can share surprisingly little in common. Except that is, for cutting features that slow the game down or feel distinctly modern. This includes reloading anything that is not a double-barreled, breech-loaded shotgun. That being said, I think that boomer shooters can benefit from having reloading for two big reasons, and level designers can fix the problems that people blame on reloading with some clever design. Before we talk about how reloading can help pace levels and direct the player, let's talk about its impact within individual fights. Watch what happens when I pit both Doom's arsenal and modded weapons that need to be reloaded up against this bulky, high-pressure ambush from Ancient Aliens, a custom map set for Doom 2, considered one of the best for its high intensity and funky aesthetic. In vanilla Doom 2, the ambush is mostly a matter of running to a corner and slowly strafing to avoid fireballs while you hold the fire button until the enemies are thin enough to clean up with a good old double barrel. But with the survival horror mod Nightmare logic, the fight plays a bit differently. You see, Nightmare logic does not let you rocket spam. Your explosions are split between a very limited supply of grenades and explosive crossbow, which needs to be reloaded after every shot. The strongest weapon here is actually your shotgun. It hits as hard as the rocket launcher and fires a lot faster, but the magazine capacity is only 6 shots, and you really do not want to get stuck reloading this thing. So here's how I win the fight. I start off by just clearing out the shotgunners real quick. Then I dump all of my explosives into the barrens. See, I switched to the shotgun. At this point, I'm out of explosives and they're too close to blow up anyways. Around this point, the fight's cleared out enough that I'm not under any serious threat, and as you can see, there's just another ammo cache, so I could just finish this up however I want. As you can see, reloading forced me to switch weapons mid-fight, which in turn forced me to change position near constantly. Now, that's how reloading impacts one fight. How can it impact the pace of a map as a whole? For this, we're going to use more of Ancient Aliens as an example. See, while the map set uses key and switch hunts to control your progress through the map, it doesn't always use literal doors and keys. Instead, it sometimes uses enemies who are too bulky for your current arsenal in order to block your way, and weapon upgrades to unlock them. This helps keep the pressure on, and it helps you not get lost. That high tier enemy draws more attention than an open doorway. There is a problem here though, and reloading can fix it. The problem is that the same disparity in damage output across Doom 2's weapon roster that allows for this style of design also renders early to mid-game weapons mostly useless once you have something stronger. Adding quick weapon swaps and balancing weapons by how long they can fire without reloading rather than by burst damage helps fix this. You can switch to a smaller weapon mid-fight in order to use it without immediately nuking your damage output. Now, I imagine at this point, if you didn't come into this video already assuming that this is a dumb idea, you've maybe come up with some issues in your head yourself now. You see, reloading can encourage you to play defensively. You lose less damage from taking cover, and generally you don't want to get caught out while your best weapons are empty. But the designer can push you to be aggressive through other design elements. For example, Ancient Aliens makes heavy use of encounters where you need to push through softer enemies while bulkier ones threaten to corner or blindside you. From a more subtle issue I've run into with reloading is that even with weapon swapping, you still need to reload eventually, and boomer shooters tend to have large arsenals that can make reloading everything a chore. This issue is tricky. You could let the player reload faster or even instantly outside of combat, but you would need to find a universal way to check whether the player is in combat or not. And I want to experiment with this a little bit, so I've made my own mod. And by that, I mean I've taken someone else's mod, Supercharge, shoutouts to Tango, and I've turned it into my own mod, Corecharge, by making a handful of modifications. Now, Supercharge already does some of the stuff I was talking about earlier. for instance, its low tier weapons are stronger in exchange for needing to reload, so I just modified it a little bit further. Now in Corecharge, picking up ammunition instantly reloads any weapons that use that type of ammo, and to compensate for this, I nerfed magazine capacity across the board. The idea behind this is that usually you'll be getting drip fed ammo in between encounters. But Maps can break this pattern for a few reasons. The most obvious one, but least impactful one, is that you can reload mid-encounter by pushing through hit scanners, enemies with guns, in order to reload mid-fight. But on the other hand, running straight at a pack of bullet shooters both feels cool and is honestly pretty risky a lot of times. Anyways, I did find two main situations where you can go a long time without getting more ammo pickups though, and that's a more serious issue. First, some maps just stop giving as much low tier ammo once you get a higher tier weapon. To fix that, I adjusted how the plasma gun works, since that's the strongest weapon burdened with reloading. Unlike other weapons, the plasma gun does not get a damage buff to compensate for the reload requirement. Instead, reloading the plasma gun reloads all of your other weapons using magnets or whatever. Rifle and shotgun are mostly power crept by the plasma gun anyways, so any encounter that would break from them not needing to be reloaded anymore will shatter from a spritz of plasma anyways. The other main situation where maps don't drip feed you ammo come up in maps that are themed around ammo conservation. These maps arguably want to be slower paced, but I was in an experimental mood, so I tried to handle this anyways. In this case, I added the Bloodletter. This replaces the chain gun as an upgrade for your pistol that allows you to refill your pistol ammo for free by just meleeing an enemy with the alt fire. This is a pretty massive buff to the chainsaw, but I figured it was fine because anyone who's played Doom for a significant amount of time knows that the chainsaw is kind of ass. Anyways, if you want to try out anything shown in the video itself, I've linked it all in the description alongside a guide on how to get started playing and modding Doom. Anyways, bye.